to NFL Primetime, presented by Bud Light.
And here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome into another edition of NFL Primetime. As always, glad to have you with us. Trey Wingo here with Tim Hasselbeck and Merrill Hodge. You guys remember back in April when the Redskins used two of their top picks to make quarterbacks? Yeah. Suddenly that turned out to be a very good thing. Now there's concerns about the health of RG3 after the hit he took in the Ravens win in overtime. For the very latest on that, let's listen in now on head coach Mike Shanahan.
See, Robert has a mild strain of the ACL. It's grade 1. He's had some mild swelling. He had his right knee repaired, his ACL in 2009. That looks great. No problem there. We'll evaluate it day by day, see how he is on Wednesday. But talking to him today, he felt pretty good.
You said sprain or sprain?
Sprain.
With a T?
With a P.
So just follow up on that. It sounds like you're not ruling him out for the Cleveland game.
He's definitely not ruled out for the Cleveland game.
When you have a week like this where there's an uncertainty with Robert or Kirk, how different do you go about the week? Does Kirk work with the same game plan, for example, as Robert does? Obviously, he has a different skill set to some degree.
You try to adjust your offense, to your personnel, regardless who's in the game. But, both of them will have a game plan, and obviously Robert can do some things in a running game that Kirk can't. And, we'll put the best game plan we can together.
Mike, just to clarify, was there any structural damage to any of the other knee ligaments at all?
No.
No minor tears, no nothing?
No, in fact, anytime you have a sprain in the knee, and the LCL is the outside ligament right here on this part of the knee, right here on this outside, there's different grades, 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
It's a grade 1, so that was a good sign. We did not know going into if it was grade 1, 2, or 3. So it's a grade 1. He's got some mild swelling. You're hoping with rehab. It gets better very quickly, but we don't know for sure. We'll have to go day by day and evaluate it day by day.
Is it fair to say that, based on having watched the play again, I'm sure, and this is as well a report, as good a report as you could have expected or hoped?
Yeah, you never know. In fact, when Brandon Merriweather in pregame warm-ups had grade 2 and a grade 3. And so, you just never know. He felt very good, felt like going back in the game. So you don't know until you have the MRI, and it was positive news.
Mike, you said ACL, sprain to the ACL?
LCL.
LCL, okay, thank you.
I thought you got that by my... No, LCL. If I did say ACL, I was...
Mike, in doctors tell you, would this decision just be made on his ability to sort of function and tolerate the pain this week, or are there considerations about worsening the injury going forward, or is that even in play?
Well, we had, Dr. Andrews on the sideline with us, and he's the one that gives me the information, so that's way over my head. I'm just telling you what he said, and we felt very good with the news.
I know every practice week is different for injured players, but is there a day this week where you need to see Robert out there in some capacity before you're able to say whether he's able to play against the Browns?
Well, I think you do that with all positions. If we're talking about London Fletcher or Trent Williams or Robert Griffin, you're going to do what's in the best interest of the player, which is usually the best interest of the team. And so we'll take a look at him during the week and make a decision if he's able to go.
You said day by day, and we'll see on Wednesday. Do you actually expect him to be able to take the field on Wednesday?
I really don't know. As we report, he's got a grade 1 sprain. He's going to get treatment every day, so we'll see how he feels on Wednesday.
Hey, Coach, I'm guessing he's going to be wearing a brace for the next few weeks, I'm guessing. Is there any other treatment? How is schedule's going to go the next few days as far as treatment and rehab?
We'll have treatment a few times a day, and obviously do what he can to hopefully get it well. But like all our other players, it doesn't matter if it's an ankle, a thigh, get as much treatment as we can and evaluate it each day, and hopefully he'll be ready to go.
Can you see him in a brace for the foreseeable future for the next couple weeks?
It could be, probably.
Mike, do you feel like you've dodged a major bullet with this grade 1 sprain compared to how it looked, especially when he came off the second time?
Yeah, you never know, like I said. But when I looked at it on film, I thought it would be worse than it was. Yeah.
Mike, when he first came out.
All right, so again, there's the news from Mike Shanahan. It is a grade 1 sprain of the LCL suffered on this hit when you see RG3's leg going forward and it runs right into the big body that is Haloti Ngata. They got good news last night or Sunday night when they had the MRI and they saw they didn't think any more serious structural damage, and that continues again today. A grade 1 LCL sprain of the knee, not the knee that was reconstructed, by the way, during his collegiate days at Baylor. This all happened in an overtime win that Kirk Cousins rallied his team to get against the Ravens. And with the win, the Skins improved to 4-0 since their bye week, averaging nearly 30 points a game in beating all 3 divisional rivals, as well as their Beltway rival, the Baltimore Ravens. RG3 has led the resurgence with 10 passes against just 1 interception during the Skins' first 4-game winning streak since 2008. Guys, the bottom line here for now is that he has not yet been ruled out of the game this coming Sunday against the Cleveland Browns, which if you're the Redskins and a Redskin fan, that's the best possible news. You want to see your best player out there. But should he not be able to go, Tim, and again, they'll monitor it during the week, how much will this offense change when Kirk Cousins comes in, who played very well, by the way, in a really tough spot?
Well, if Kirk Cousins can't go, or if RG3 can't run, like we're used to seeing him run, it changes this offense significantly. When you think about the foundation of their offense, it's all been predicated on operating out of the pistol and a lot of this zone read action. What do I mean by that? Watch what they do here. First play of the game, you don't know what's happening. They're not blocking the defensive end. They can hand it to the running back. RG3 can keep it, or they pull it out and throw the play action pass behind it. Well, here, this time it's a run, and there's Alfred Morris. This is the foundation of what they do offensively. And they repeat this concept over and over again. Same thing, same looking formation out of the pistol. Now what do? You're pulling it back out, you're keeping it, you're handing it to the running back. This time, he's pulling it out, it's the play action pass, but because of the effectiveness of that run, it gets the linebackers to step up, and they're able to throw the crosser in behind it. This is the challenge now, Merrill, is that they've built this offense around his skill set for what he does. And so now when you do have to go to your backup, that staple, that foundation of your offense, a lot of that has to be scrapped, and you have to do different things with this other quarterback.
I think the one plus, though, when you showed that speed option, they sprinkle that in, though. I mean, if you really look at the foundation, what they run the football, they run power football. So the only real difference is instead of being in the pistol, you're going to put Kirk Cousins under center. I mean, the stuff Tim just showed you, you can forget that. That's not because Cousins is not going to threaten anybody if he keeps the football. So you're not even going to try to do that. But if you look at how the Redskins have built, at least it's not just that. The pistol stuff and the speed option.
Sure.
They run power, they run zone, they run counter as good as anybody. Those are all staples. Yes, they run it from the pistol, but now you just put Cousins under the center, and you can still do all of those things. So I slightly disagree.
No, but the thing is
power football.
No, they run power football out of that. The challenge is they've repeated those things over and over again. That's what they have for a very long time now. Those are the concepts that they repeat over and over again. They haven't been doing that. So a lot of it is new now. A lot of if in fact Kirk Cousins is the guy.
And again, we'll find out as the week goes on. They'll look to see how he's feeling on Wednesday and take it from there. Keep this in mind, though. All this talk about RG3 and Kirk Cousins, if you really look at the numbers, the most important offensive player to the Washington Redskins is wideout Pierre Garçon, who caught the game-tying potential touchdown and then the 2-point conversion that tied it up in overtime from Kirk Cousins. When he plays, the Washington Redskins are 6-1. When he doesn't play, they're 1-5.
And he better not get hurt.
Exactly. So if Kirk Cousins is playing, just throw it to Pierre Garçon. All this was going on at almost the same time. Another unbelievable rally was happening in Cincinnati as the Cowboys playing that game with heavy hearts, obviously with the death of teammate Jerry Brown on their minds. And The Dallas Cowboys, again, in the second quarter, down 10-3. Andy Dalton rolls to his right, and there's Brandon Carr picking it off and then winding and weaving his way all across the field. Finally run out at the 27-yard line. That really was a play that turned the momentum for the Cowboys. Next Cowboys possession on 3rd and goal. DeMarco Murray, what a difference he makes when he plays for them. The 1-yard touchdown to tie it up at 10. They fell behind by 9 in the fourth quarter. 8 minutes to play, 19-10, Cincinnati on top. And Romo, who had to dodge the rush all day, finds Kevin Ogletree up the middle for a 22-yard gain because that defense of the Bengals was wearing out the Cowboys' offensive line. And then in the fourth, Des Bryant, all he does is catch touchdowns in the second half. This is his 9th of the year, all of them in the second half. It's now a 2-point game, 19-17. 1:24 left. Romo under pressure. DeMarco Murray picks up a first down, gets out of bounds. That gets him into field goal range for Dan Bailey warming up on the sidelines. And this might have been the play, Merrill. What a great call and a great move by Murray to get the first down.
You know, awareness and knowing what he needs and to get it, outstanding.
And so that allowed the Cowboys to work the clock down, and Jason Garrett could only sort of pace the sidelines as Dan Bailey came in and nailed the game winner with time running out. Cowboys win a huge one, 20-19 on a very difficult day for the franchise.
Football's a game of emotion, and there are a lot of different emotions circulating, and somehow, some way, we had to kind of process it all and understand that life is different than football, but we had a job to do. I was really proud of our football team, though. Somehow, some way, they did find a way to channel all the emotions we had. I think there was a feeling of numbness, but somehow they focused it, and we figured out a way to win this ball game. And I thought we honored him as well as he could be honored. It's a day that I'm never going to forget. It's a tragic day for all of us, but I'm never going to forget how this football team came together and honored Jerry Brown and his family.
And with that backdrop, the Cowboys continue to try and find ways to win games now. Des Bryant didn't catch his first pass Sunday until 8:33 remained in the third quarter, but made up for it by catching all 4 of his targets in the second half, including the touchdown we just showed you. Bryant leads the NFL with 9 second-half touchdown receptions, which is impressive considering he has none in the first half of games. A big rally on a very difficult day for the Dallas Cowboys. Merrill, what did you see in Romo's touchdown pass to Des Bryant?
Well, Trey, one of the things I saw, it was a 1st and 10 play, and oftentimes that's when you get some of the most basic coverages. So let's jump into the backfield with Tony Romo and just assess what he's looking at. We have the 2 safeties right here, and this linebacker is going to be important. But with 2 safeties like that, that looks like a cover 2 of something. This linebacker is important because you have a situation where you could have man coverage. It means if the back gets out of here, he's going to pull that defender out of here. So Tony Romo is really at the snap of the ball going to focus on these safeties right here, see if they stay wide, but also if that linebacker bails. Well, as we snap the ball, what happens? 2 safeties stay deep, and there goes that linebacker. Now, once that linebacker clears, Tony Romo realizes that I've got a beautiful route coming here, and it's going to be on the in route, giving him a lot of space and opportunity to throw this football to Des Bryant. Because that linebacker's been cleared out, it opens it up for Bryant, and Romo makes a beautiful throw, and that touchdown gets him back into this game where it's a 1-possession game and a chance to win it. But that was not the only good play, Tim, that they had in this game.
Oh, it's certainly one of theirs. Good plays leading up to that touchdown, also leading up to the game-winning field goal. And it's really what they did on 3rd down that impressed me the most. Not just Tony Romo, but that entire offense. 3rd and 2 here, little stop route, Tony Romo on the money. So that's 1 3rd down conversion here late in the football game, leading up to the touchdown that you just showed us, Merrill. Now a blitz. They don't have this thing blocked up, but it's Tony Romo playing with great anticipation and timing. He beats the blitz with the throw. That's a big 3rd down conversion, which ultimately led to that TD. Next drive, chance to drive to win the football game. 3rd down, good pass pro. He's able to find Jason Witten over the middle. Crucial 3rd and 1 when you know you want to run the football. Look at this, a good job up front of winning at the line of scrimmage. You get a good seal block, and then you get that kick out block by the fullback. That allows DeMarco Murray to get up into the hole with virtually no contact and fall forward for the first down. Then you get a 3rd and 5, trying to just get another opportunity to make it an easier kick for your field goal kicker. And that's an outstanding effort by DeMarco Murray to get that first down. So you look at 5 3rd down conversions to end the football game. Trey, that's how you find a way to win it.
No question, the Redskins and the Cowboys did that. So the Giants, they were within seconds of maybe walking on the field with a potential 2-game lead if they won their game against the Saints. Instead, suddenly they realized, hey, we got to get this thing done. They're down 7-0 after a pick six, and here's Exhibit A on why kickoff should stay in the game. David Wilson, 97 yards the other way, and that's how you erase a pick six. And I pulled something just watching David do that. That tied it up at 7. Saints down 21-13. Drew Brees over the seam to Jimmy Graham, off his hands, and Stevie. Boy, the ball just seems to find Stevie Brown, doesn't it, Tim?
Sure does. Nice play by Antrell Roll as well to get his hand on it. And then David Wilson, Trey, we saw him in that kickoff return. But this is really what impressed me the most about what he was able to do. You look at this from behind. This is a goal line run, basically. You're inside the 10-yard line. Jonathan Vilma's going to scrape over the top and meet David Wilson in the hole. You love the way the smaller, faster running back runs behind his pads and gets himself into the end zone.
Well, that put the Giants back on top by a couple of scores. A lot of scoring in this game. We move to the fourth quarter. It's 35-27. Eli to Victor Cruz, salsa, and it's 42-27. It's later 45-27. Wilson, boy, he had a day. You name it, he did it, and he did it well. This is a 52-yard touchdown. This is what they wanted from the first-round pick, and he delivered.
You're right, and this is exactly what they wanted. The blitz is coming from the backside. They're running away from it. They get a good block, down block by Martellus Bennett. You got a hat on the hat, and now this is what we know he can do. Look at the speed. Bad angles by the defender. Get him in the open field. That's exactly what the Giants want.
Wilson, 327 all-purpose yards, and this had to feel good for the Giants, who the last 3 times they played the Saints had been drummed by them and given up an average of 42 points. They put up 52. Now, here's the NFC East. The Giants continue to lead by a game, but they got a tough road game coming up against the Falcons. Then they got to play the Ravens. The Redskins have road games against the Browns and Eagles. Browns, by the way, have won 3 straight for the first time in a few years. They're playing well, while the Cowboys have home games against the Steelers and Saints before closing out against the Redskins. Still coming on this edition of NFL Primetime, Monday Night Football. The Texans in New England will break down a massive AFC showdown.
NFL Primetime is presented by Bud Light, the official beer of NFL fans. Here we go. And in part by DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Well, it's time to start the show. Not giving it.
Week 14 sees 2 of the AFC's elite teams collide. Foster's been leading the charge for Houston and wants to take his form into Foxborough. But can Brady's experience carry the Patriots over the line? Texans and Patriots starts tonight at midnight 30 CET with Monday Night Countdown. Monday Night Football live on ESPN America, home of the NFL.
Every morning,
let's take a look at some of the stocks on the move.
Millions wake up to the world's premier business news program.
The Chinese markets come online in just over 2 hours' time.
Every day is different.
It's all about the IPO news today.
And Squawk Box makes the difference.
We're coming to you live from London.
The brightest minds, the biggest names, everything you need to know before the market opens.
It's a multi-speed universe, and we're trying to look around corners.
Squawk Box, where business turns first on CNBC.
Everybody's saying that they picked our defense because we're always #1.
Guys saying, shut this guy down.
I don't understand how a defensive lineman is going to score you many points. Guys always asking me what I think about trades.
A lot of times they come up about me asking about my offensive play.
We're not just little pawns in your game.
Jay Cutler, his arm, the best in the business, best to ever done it.
Jay has the strongest arm in the league.
Here's Cutler gonna launch it right. Open man, end zone over the shoulder grab. Touchdown Bears.
Sometimes as a player, you like, oh, why you throw that? But, you know, he gets it in there.
That was all Jay Cutler.
He can fit it in any small window.
Windows that sometimes virtually aren't even there.
It's Monday.
167.
And Rick is filled with fantasy football pride from a successful Sunday, so he's feeling pretty good.
Here's your coffee, Rick.
But he overlooked Monday Night Football, where Clarence has 2 players to go. So he comes back to reality.
Made your coffee.
So reserve your fantasy smack for Tuesday morning, because it all comes down to Monday night.
The NCAA is a place where stars are born. A chance to catch the legends of tomorrow, today. And with ESPN America's complete coverage from the regular season through to March Madness and the Final Four, you won't need to wait long for the next big thing. College basketball all season long on ESPN America.
You asked me to find the 14th member of this company.
Mr. Bilbo, where are you off to?
I'm going on an adventure!
One team is looking to reclaim what was once theirs. But another band of warriors has also fallen under the spell of the ring. Let the adventure begin.
Big one on Monday night here on ESPN to finish out Week 14. It is the Texans traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. For the very latest on that, as always, we check in with Lisa Salters. Lisa, it's been an interesting season for Wes Welker. He didn't get the big contract he wanted. There was talk early in the season that perhaps they were phasing him out of the offense. Things have changed, as it certainly seems like Wes Welker is once again a prominent part of what Tom Brady wants to do offensively.
Consider him, Trey, phased right back in. When you look at the great quarterbacks in NFL history, you'll probably also find that go-to wide receiver that was a key part of their success. Joe Montana had Jerry Rice, Peyton Manning had Marvin Harrison, Jim Kelly, Andre Reed. For Tom Brady, it's Wes Welker, who needs 8 receptions tonight to become the only player in NFL history to have 5 100-catch seasons. Brady told me the thing about Wes is he catches everything that you throw at him. And he says what he does in practice every day gives a quarterback so much confidence of what he's going to do on game day. Brady told me he proves to me on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so when I'm in the game, I know how the play is going to turn out because he's already shown me what he's going to do. About setting the record, Welker said it will probably mean more to him once his playing days are over. But he said, as for now, I try not to think about that stuff. I just try to focus on this week and however many balls I need to catch for us to win this game. Trey?
Lisa, I would imagine this week they'll need him to catch a lot of football, especially with no Gronkowski and no Julian Edelman. All right, Merrill, you know, the defense for the New England Patriots has had their issues, especially on the back end, giving up a lot of big plays. That's why they went out and made the trade for cornerback Aqib Talib. But they're actually a top 10 defense against the run. How do you see them stacking up against a very potent zone running attack from Houston?
I find it the most fascinating side of the ball as you watch Monday night. You know, if you think of Bill Belichick, and part of his legacy is him coming up with different defensive plans, things to get after. Mostly it was Peyton Manning, but he does that to every opponent. Well, what I want to show you has kind of happened this year. They have used this kind of formation or personnel look against Tampa Bay and the Tennessee Titans, 2 teams that can run the football. It's a 5 linebacker look. Chandler, who's the tight end, who's the defensive end, stands up as a linebacker, but his penetration and 5 guys standing up versus 4 or 3 really disturbs the blocking assignments for the offensive line and the backs. So you get quick penetration, you don't get people accounted for, and you blow up the running game. Against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's a 5 linebacker look. You get slants and you get scrapes, and then you get a free linebacker. That is so disruptive to your blocking scheme. When you look at the Houston Texans, I think everybody in football world knows the Houston Texans run it as good, if not better than anybody in football. The one team that did neutralize them a little bit was the Green Bay Packers. And what they did is they moved a lot of people right before the snap. This is the way you can do that. You can move a lot of people, stand them up, hit the line of scrimmage, create penetration, and completely disrupt their running game. I believe something like this or something equivalent will happen tonight to try to handle their running game.
All right, so let's look then on the other side of the ball for the Houston Texans, or the other side of the offense there, the passing game. Texans have given up big plays. Tom Brady's going to probably try and take advantage of that. They've really been porous over the last few weeks. But that has been a problem all season for the New England Patriots. Can Matt Schaub take advantage?
Yeah, listen, their misdirection, Houston Texans, their misdirection passing game is maybe the best in the NFL. The hard play action, push the ball down the field. And Trey, you mentioned the big plays that have been given up by the New England Patriots. 59 pass plays of over 20 yards. That's worst in the National Football League. And it's been a problem for them. Play action pass to push the ball down the field. You're going to get a double post action here by the Seattle Seahawks with a deep crosser. We saw Russell Wilson come out with that play action pass. Well, watch the safety. This puts the safety in a bind. It's a horizontal stretch on the middle of the field safety. Well, he's going to go with Sidney Rice. That's going to allow Golden Tate to get over the top. And then Russell Wilson's able to throw it down the field, and that's an easy play for Golden Tate with his body to shield the defender. Same football game. Again, hard play action, move the pocket to buy the quarterback some time to let these deep routes work. You have a route up at the top, basically a two-man route, a corner post down at the bottom of the screen. Because of that movement in the pocket, that allows Russell Wilson to be able to push the ball down the field. And when you have a wide receiver running on a safety, it's a mismatch, which is why you see Sidney Rice just blow right past the coverage of the New England Patriots and find his way into the end zone. Now the Houston Texans, we know they're good at doing this. Look at them against the Buffalo Bills. It's that misdirection passing game. You fake the handoff, you move the pocket. That allows these routes to develop. Double post with basically a wheel that's going to come across the formation by Owen Daniels. This takes forever, but they get guys wide open. You see how displaced the coverage is for the Buffalo Bills. And again, it's the Houston Texans, the hard play action. Move the pocket that allows Matt Schaub to let the routes get down the field. He lets that develop. There comes Andre Johnson on the crosser. He's wide open. That's a problem for the New England Patriots. It's the best thing that they do in their passing game, the Houston Texans do. And that's why I think that's one of the most crucial matchups when you look at how this thing will play out tonight.
All right, so how will it play out? Who wins?
I like the Patriots because their defense has, gotten better. As you mentioned, that addition, they blitz more. Their pressure's a little better, and that might help with that misdirection. Because that misdirection, it is good.
Yeah, listen, I think the Patriots win. I think the point you make about containing the run ends up being the key to this football game. Being able to stop Aaron Foster. You stop that run, then all of a sudden that misdirection passing game isn't as effective. And so I think that's the key, and I think the Patriots find a way to do that.
All the numbers suggest New England. Not saying Texans can't win, but the Pats 10-1 in the last 11 home Monday night games. They've won 20 straight games in the last half of the regular season, and Tom Brady almost never loses at home, 36-2 since 2007. Wow. Going with the New England Patriots. Lots more coming here on this edition of NFL Primetime. When we continue, the NFC North is now up for grabs. Packers are on a roll, but the Vikings and Bears are within striking distance. What's the biggest concern for the Bears, though?
Thursday Night Football live on ESPN America with yet another disappointing game. Their losing streak continues. Can Coach Reed's boys turn the tables when the Bengals hit town? Bengals at Eagles, Thursday at 0200 CET, live on ESPN America.
Today at Metropolitan Stadium, the pit yawned invitingly indeed. It was somewhere between wedding weather and that icy ring of which Dante so feelingly spoke. It was, in fact, the kind of weather that Minnesotans find agreeable, the rest of us deplorable. A warm first line of defense is an essential. One group shows King Cole heartiness outside a bus, which proclaims a Norse version of machismo, while another retreats to a camper where winter can only crouch sullenly on the roof. The white and distant sun gets help from small cousins in grates and cages which blaze and sputter helpfully. Viking purple is found on more than fans' noses, and the comestibles are guarded by that Viking leprechaun, the troll. Banners proclaim the availability of liquid mirage for those who need the illusion of warmth, while a friend will rescue those lost in the high passes of the parking lot. Officially, a fan should carry no more than a ticket and a blanket into the cold Coliseum. But to take a thermos from a Minnesota football fan is to ensure his fall before Jack Frost. Once settled in, the football devotee can study his breath pattern or try to hear comments filtered through layers of purple wool. Some fans tend slightly to overflow their allotted space, designed as it was for baseball fans in chinos, minis, and Hawaiian shirts. Unthinkable get-ups today. You find the weather a little severe for watching football?
Just right. Perfect day.
Have you been to all the Minnesota home games?
Every one of them, yes. Never wear gloves either.
Well, I noticed that you're drinking coffee. Do you find it colder than he does?
Not a bit. I think the weather's beautiful.
In the struggle to stay warm, the football fan becomes a bulky unisex figure, rather like a walking bedroll, and hard for a friend or associate to recognize. This is Haywood Hale Broun in many layers and Bloomington, Minnesota.
With the end of the season fast approaching, ESPN America is giving you the chance to vote for your favorite college football film. Choose between The U.
We were the Alis of that era. We're going to talk to you why we're beating you.
The Best That Never Was.
Those that saw him play know what they saw was great.
And SMU Pony Excess.
Next year's SMU football season will not exist. No games, no scholarships, no recruiting.
Vote now at ESPNAmerica.com.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Bud Light.
We continue on Primetime. Trey Wingo here with Tim Hasselbeck and Merrill Hodge. Pittsburgh really had to like their chances Sunday. They're at home. Ben Roethlisberger's back after missing 3 games. And after all, the Chargers were coming to town, who had never, ever won a regular season game in Pittsburgh in franchise history. But you know what they say? Lightning eventually strikes once. And the Steelers are no longer impervious to bolts from the sky in the regular season. Ben Roethlisberger back from the sternoclavicular sprain and the dislocated rib, and perhaps just a bit off at times, down 3-0. He's got Wallace. Oh, and Wallace just can't quite get his hands on it.
A year ago, Mike Wallace made those catches.
That is correct, Merrill Hodge. It was 20-3 when this fluky play happens. It ends up being off the back of a receiver, backward pass. Quentin Jamper would recover it, ruled a fumble. Just right off Paulson, the tight end, and it goes backwards. Sometimes it's just not your day.
That was more forward than the miracle and the miracle.
The Music City Miracle, yes, 27-3. Later in the third, Wallace, 40-yard touchdown. He is. Steelers down 27-10 after the extra point. But the Steelers' defense struggling without Ike Taylor.
Yeah, listen, no Ike Taylor, and watch here. You got Curtis Brown in replacing him. Darnario Alexander working the double move. Darnario Alexander, 6'5". He does not transition in and out of breaks well. But watch what he does here. He just absolutely runs by Curtis Brown. You get a chance to look at this. This is bad defense. You have all 10 guys doing the right thing. You find a weak link, identify him. That becomes a problem for any defense. And now you're going to see it's Darnario Alexander again, this time against Josh Victorian. And this is easy. This is a gimme for Phillip Rivers.
Go up and get it.
They miss Ike Taylor, and right there you see why.
And they miss an opportunity to really tighten the door. Chargers go on to win 34-24. All right, so as you look at the Steelers here, what do you think is their biggest concern? Because you really thought after the big win last Sunday in Baltimore without Ben, they'd get the momentum, get things going. Completely went the other way.
Their offensive line. You know, Marquise Pouncey, he plays center, right? Last week he played guard. Now he's back to center. Okay, just those moves like that alone can dishevel an offensive line, but they've been doing it all year, and it continues to be their problem up front. The inability to protect Ben Roethlisberger is going to be the thing they must correct if they're going to get to the playoffs and do anything once they get there. When you look also at the Cincinnati Bengals, some of their problems as we go to their team is they do such a good job on every phase of the game until it's the end of the game. They just don't finish opponents. Right here with the Cowboys, you have a chance to get a touchdown. You kick field goals. When you have those opportunities, you must get touchdowns. Field goals usually cost you games, and it costs the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, when you got to hold them out, this defense has been outstanding. I believe one of the best blitzing defenses all in football, giving up too many drives at the end of games to let teams come back. And the Ravens, when you look at critical moments, critical situations, Joe Flacco has not played well in those elements. That is what's going to have to get better for them. On those third downs, when they have pressure, getting rid of the football, protecting him better, understanding when the pressure is coming. And even this defense has some problems because they gave up some critical plays at critical times too. Those things have to change. And whoever gets it corrected has a chance to get the playoffs.
And, of course, the Ravens are trying to correct that, having dismissed Cam Cameron, and now Jim Caldwell takes over
that would be
as their offensive coordinator.
And how that falls out.
It's kind of curious, the timing of that one. As for the contenders in the North, the Ravens still lead by 2 games, but they've got the Broncos and Giants the next 2 weeks. Steelers are at the Cowboys in Week 15 before closing with home games against the Bengals and Browns, and then the Bengals have it all right before them. Their last 2 games, if you look at Cincinnati and what they've got to do, they're playing the 2 teams in the division they have not been able to beat in recent years, at Pittsburgh, then home for the Ravens. NFC North, who's up for some snow football? We're all up for snow football. The Lions
is here
at Lambeau. They had lost 20 games at Green Bay. Matt Stafford was 3 and Aaron Rodgers was 8 the last time the Lions won a game, a road game against the Packers. It wasn't the most athletic move by Matthew Stafford, but it got in there for the touchdown, 7-0. They actually built a big lead, and case in part because we had some issues with ball security. Great job by Lawrence Jackson hitting Aaron Rodgers from behind. Detroit comes up with the ball. And then Chris Durham, who actually was a teammate of Matt Stafford's at Georgia. Are you kidding me? Just on the team, and hello, comes up with a great catch there. Fantastic grab. Megatron even likes it later on that drive. Tony Scheffler for the touchdown and some sort of strange digging celebration. It's 14-0. They're going to snap the streak. No, they're not. No, they're not. Slips out of his hands. Mike Daniels, this is the gift touchdown of all time, 43 yards. Packers, just like that, cut it to 4 after being completely outplayed.
Tide got turned right there.
That is absolutely the biggest thing. Then in the third quarter, Aaron Rodgers does what he does best.
Yeah, and you look at Aaron Rodgers just operating with signals at the line of scrimmage. He sees the 2 deep, so he's going to work Jermichael Finley against the linebacker, try to convert the first down. Finley falls down. Look what Aaron Rodgers does. He's ready to pull this thing here. Instead, he's got to get out of the pocket, and then this is Aaron Rodgers doing what he maybe does best, playing beyond the X's and O's. That should be a negative play. He just turned it into a touchdown.
He certainly did, and the Packers continued their winning ways at home against the Lions, 27-20. Then you had the Chicago Bears with all their issues heading up to try and stop Adrian Peterson. Yeah, good luck with that. First play from scrimmage, 51 yards. AD, AP, the cashier, whatever you want to call him, rips it off inside the 20-yard line. Peterson would later score to finish off the drive. Merrill, Adrian Peterson continues to amaze.
Trey, every Sunday we talk about Adrian Peterson having big runs up front and what they're doing for him up front with their offensive line. Well, guess what? Nothing has changed. Still getting big runs. And I love what the Minnesota Vikings did. If Adrian Peterson keeps this up, he's going to be the MVP of the National Football League. The Vikings use 3 tight ends, and look at these down blocks. These 3 guys are going to down block there. Now, one thing that's pretty interesting what the Chicago Bears have done is they have lined their linebackers over here. Now, this defensive back is going to be unaccounted for, so the burden's going to fall on Adrian Peterson. But let's focus on the linebackers. As they snap the football right here, watch those 2 guys. Now, the tight ends get them blocked. Remember this defensive back, boy, he's unaccounted for. That means the burden really falls on Adrian Peterson, that he must press the hole. He must follow it here. He can't get over here, or this defensive back has a much better angle at him. He follows those 2 tight ends and the blocks they got, and then he's dynamic once he gets into the secondary. Look at that stiff arm, boy. You got to love that. The concern, though, if you're a Chicago Bear fan, the Bears used to dominate the line of scrimmage, not let you run on them. Not happening in the last month of the season. They're going to have to change that if they want to make it into the playoffs.
Merrill, that's true. Although the defense did get better, they gave up 104 yards to Adrian Peterson in the first quarter and only 50 the rest of the way. But then the Vikings did to the Bears what the Bears have been doing to everybody. Jay Cutler is picked off and Harrison Smith all the way back to the house, 56 yards, and Minnesota goes up 21-7. Move to the fourth quarter, Bears down 21-7. And this is a big concern, Tim, for the Bears as the duo Jared Allen and Everson Griffin just destroy Cutler.
Yeah, it's been a big deal for Cutler all year long. He's been taking a pounding. They've not done a good job of protecting him, and you can see why Jay Cutler wasn't able to finish this football game.
Stiff-necked Jason Campbell had to come in. 1:53 to go in the fourth. It is still 21-7. Campbell doing the right things here, going up and letting Brandon Marshall get it for a 16-yard score. Bears cut it 21-14. No more timeouts, have to attempt the onside kick. And Kyle Rudolph, you're in good hands with former Notre Dame players in this game. Kyle Rudolph and Harrison Smith as the Vikings hang on to win 21-14. Adrian Peterson continues to impress. So here's the NFC North. Despite their fourth loss in 5 games, Bears just one game behind in the division and have a chance to pull into a first-place tie as they host the Packers now coming up in Week 15. The Pack beat the Bears in Week 2. The Vikes are 2 games back and still fighting for a playoff spot. They have a Week 17 home matchup with Green Bay. Well, there have been questions about the Atlanta Falcons despite their impressive record all season long. And on Sunday, Cam Newton and the Panthers did nothing to stop that.
This December on ESPN America, the festivities are here and you'll have plenty to cheer. With the playoffs just around the corner, it's crunch time in the NFL. And it's all about bowl games as the college football season nears its close. And we stay on campus as the top teams in college basketball go head-to-head. The brightest stars, the biggest games, all this month live on ESPN America.
Cruz goes slot left, down the right side for Cruz, who's got a touchdown! You hear the chant of Cruz.
Oh my gosh.
Is it really loud on the field?
It's loud. Sometimes I think they record it. Sometimes.
Giants fans have good reason to be yelling Victor Cruz's name. His 77-yard game winner against the Redskins was his 7th touchdown of the season. No receiver in the NFL has more. And teammates say he's been just as impressive when no one's there to cheer for him.
The way he treats practice is amazing. He comes out trying to get better. He's trying to give looks. He's throwing. He's talking after plays, figuring out, what he could have done to get open.
He never gives up on the play, no matter what it is, if he has the ball, if he don't have the ball.
Cruz's work ethic is also behind his chemistry with Eli Manning, which developed in workouts during last summer's NFL lockout.
Eli called and he was having his, his own kind of thing over at Hoboken High School nearby. And I attended each and every one of those sessions. I made sure I was picking his brain about different things, different routes, different plays, how he likes to throw the ball, where he likes to throw the ball, and I think that really helped us moving forward.
He's a guy who, just because of that work ethic and the way he competes every day, he shows up for game day as well because he's prepared. He's worked hard during the week to give himself a chance to play at a high level during games.
I think it's my will to win. I think I understand that, your lifespan on this earth isn't very long, so while I'm young and while I can be mobile and while I can run around, I want to make sure that I succeed at everything that I do.
Welcome back to Primetime. I'm Lisa Salters in Foxborough with a team report. Matt Schaub has won 15 of his last 16 starts and has the highest win percentage of any quarterback over the last 2 seasons. But there's still an air of unfinished business around him after a foot injury made him miss the stretch run of the Texans' 2011 season, including the franchise's first ever playoff game. Andre Johnson said of Schaub, he was fired up before this season. This year, when you look at him in the locker room, he just has a different look in his eye before games. Tonight's matchup might not be a playoff game, but Schaub says it's got that feel. For us, it's a huge test on the road, he said. Late in the season against a team that has been the face of the NFL, the cream of the crop, Schaub said it's not do or die for us, but it's a chance for us to go out and make a statement as a franchise. Now back to Primetime.
Well, as we continue here on Primetime, Trey, Tim, and Merrill, there have been 2 constants in the Atlanta Falcons season. They have continued to win, and their fan base, and at times players on the roster, have criticized many of the national media for not giving them enough respect. Neither of those trends continued on Sunday when they traveled to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Panthers have been talking a lot of smack about this matchup before the game, and Cam Newton was ready. Opening drive, 3rd and 5, and here he goes.
Yeah, and Cam Newton, this maybe was the best throw of the day. Look at that down the field. That's an absolute laser. It's a seam throw. And look at, this is the prime Tim Dime, the E is silent. High and away in the back of the end zone with the defender's back turn. Can't be done any better than that by Cam.
The E should always be silent. Second quarter, same scores, 3rd and 11.
Is he strong?
Yes, he is. Is he agile? Yes, he is. And is he creative in getting the first down? Yes, he is. Gain of 14 yards.
You can't coach that.
That's not in the game.
That's a player making a play.
Much like we saw Tony Romo make a couple of throws in the game against the Bengals. It's 16-0 where Cam takes off, and the speed, the size, the agility, everything.
help.
Yeah, and a little bit of a block. 72 yards, Merrill, for the score.
Yeah, what a great job. This must be a great game because you get a seal here with the fake, a great kick out here by Olsen, another seal. And we have our seal of approval and Cam in the alley, my brother. And we're going to have time to look at a little bit of help.
That might be the first time a guy gets the primetime dime and the seal of approval.
It's the prime Tim time.
It is.
You just messed up your own thing. You said primetime dime. He did. Tim, unbelievable.
Trey, in the NFL, 3rd down is the money down. On defense, you need to get off the field. On offense, you need to sustain drives, convert 3rd downs, and stay on the field. But that's not what the Falcons did against Carolina. 5th offensive play of the game. You got to see, we're well into this football game. There's inside 6 minutes left, and it's a 3rd and 18. Not many plays you can call on that down and distance. Matt Ryan actually does a smart thing, checks the football down. Carolina rallies to make the tackle, and they're off the field, forced to punt. Next opportunity now is in the second quarter. This is their second drive. 8th offensive play for Atlanta. 3rd and 5, much more manageable down and distance. You're inside 10 minutes there. They're going to work the stick route to the tight end, but not enough separation is created. He's tackled short of the first down, and that means they're forced to punt once again. Can't get off the field. 13th offensive play. 3rd drive for the Atlanta Falcons. Right around 4 minutes left in the half. 3rd and 10. Difficult down and distance to convert. They're forced to throw the football to the flat to Tony Gonzalez. They don't convert this. That makes it 13. Count them, 13 total plays for the Atlanta Falcons in the first half. That's how you get beat in the National Football League, and that's a big problem for Atlanta going forward.
Tim, very good. Time for the Visa Epic Play, Merrill.
Our epic play actually is 2 epic plays, courtesy of Kirk Cousins of the Washington Redskins. May have saved their season, by the way. Let's look at the first epic play. This is a 3rd and 5, and the reason I want to point out 3rd and 5, defenders think first down. So the first down markers here, this corner is thinking first down. That's what Washington's going to do. Now watch Pierre Garcon's route. Washington Redskins and Pierre Garcon were thinking the same thing. See, that defender's sitting down because Pierre Garcon's route is setting down. As Garcon sits here and he's going to come back here, he realizes the defender plays it. So he adjusts and goes to the end zone. Cousins identifies it as well. He throws him the touchdown. Now that just sets up the next epic play. This two-point conversion was outstanding in how they executed it. Ed Reed is right here, linebacker right here. Watch the snap of the ball. These little subtle things become so important. Instead of Cousins grabbing the football and running this way, watch him back up right here. When he backs up, that gives the guard time to set, then get the linebacker, and Ed Reed drops. If Cousins were to run right away, this play wouldn't work. But that hesitation right there gets the guard on the linebacker, and Ed Reed is too late. 2 epic plays, big time for Washington, and those 2 plays, quite honestly, Trey, may have saved the Washington Redskins season.
Merrill, that, of course, reality. Now, of course, time for fantasy, the good, the bad, and in many cases for Arizona, the ugly.
Epic Play is brought to you by Visa. Make your season epic with Visa NFL fan offers.
And it's time to start the show. Not giving it.
Week 14 sees 2 of the AFC's elite teams collide. Foster's been leading the charge for Houston and wants to take his form into Foxborough. But can Brady's experience carry the Patriots over the line? Texans and Patriots starts tonight at midnight 30 CET with Monday Night Countdown. Monday Night Football live on ESPN America, home of the NFL. Every morning,
Let's take a look at some of the stocks on the move.
millions wake up to the world's premier business news program.
The Chinese markets come online in just over 2 hours' time.
Every day is different,
It's all about the IPO news today.
and Squawk Box makes the difference.
We're coming to you live from London.
The brightest minds, the biggest names, everything you need to know before the market opens.
It's a multi-speed universe, and we're trying to look around corners.
Squawk Box, where business turns first on CNBC.
Brandon Browner, 6'4", 221. Cam Chancellor, 6'4", 232. Earl Thomas, 5'10", 203. Richard Sherman, 6'3", 200 pounds. Biggest attribute is my size. Just laying heavy. My main strength is just being an athlete. Press is my strength.
How did you guys come up with the nickname Legion of Boom?
Legion of Boom came from the 12th man. It was like 3.5 men was one of the choices. Birds of prey, you know, it was some crazy stuff they suggested, and that's the one that stuck.
I didn't know they had a nickname.
They can call us whatever they want, as long as we keep winning.
What does the nickname mean to you?
It means we thump. It means we go out there and try to thump people. It explains our aggressive style of play. Everything we do it with a boom. I guess it's just a sign of respect.
What makes you guys different than the other defensive backs in the NFL?
The physicality. The physicality is what makes us different. People overuse the word swagger, but we really got that over here.
Earl Thomas ripped it out. Browner sweeping in.
Corners will not back down.
I think my size does intimidate people on the field. People know what they're going to go up against. I think after they feel us a few times, they're looking for us. I want you to feel me every time I hit you. It's usually a lot of them, you know, shaking or looking like, man, it's a big dude in front of me. Man, why are y'all so big? We are the Legion. We are the Legion of Boom.
It's Monday night, the night that unites us all. Whether we're watching from our favorite chair, enjoying a little pregame snack, seeing how many points we need to win, or doing whatever we have to do to make kickoff.
And the princess says, never mind, and that's the end.
That's not how the story goes.
That's how it goes tonight.
No matter what our plans are, we all know one thing. It all comes down to Monday night.
Don't forget to check out NFL 32 on its new time, 5 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2, Monday through Friday. Susie and senior insider Chris Mortensen gives you news on all 32 teams, Monday through Friday on ESPN2, 5 o'clock Eastern. Time for fantasy studs and duds, and we had a lot of options, Tim. Where'd you go for the good?
You know who's the stud? Was Nick Foles.
Correct.
You know, 31 fantasy points. That was second best out of any quarterback in the NFL. Well done. 32 of 51, 381, 2 touchdowns. Also had 3 rushes for 27 yards.
David Wilson. Can it get any better than David Wilson? I just look at the bottom line. 28 points. If you started him, you're loving him.
327 total yards. I'm going with the Seattle D in special teams. They forced 8 turnovers. When you can get 39 fantasy points from your defense, if you're losing that matchup, you got a real problem.
You're a bad owner at that point.
That is also true. Like the guy that drafted a coach. Get out. Fantasy duds, Tim.
Fantasy dud here. I'll pick a defense, right? The Atlanta Falcons defense, basically the anti-Seattle Seahawks this week, surrendered 475 yards, 30 points, and -5 fantasy points.
That's very good. Tim, Merrill?
A.J. Green could have had some amazing first downs and touchdowns, and he just didn't come up big. Only 4 points for A.J. Green. Shocker.
It is important to be consistent. So if my stud was the defense of the Seattle Seahawks, my dud is the Arizona offense, all of them. The Cardinal offense combined for 8 turnovers and 0 points. Let's put that in perspective. They had 154 yards of total offense. That's how much Adrian Peterson had on the ground by himself for Minnesota.
Here's Benjamin. He catches at the 6. Comeback 5. Touchdown! And I am exhausted.
You can't be exhausted because we got more for you. Each and every touchdown scored through Sunday of Week 14 is coming your way.
You are watching NFL Primetime, presented by Bud Light.
Thursday Night Football live on ESPN America with yet another disappointing game. Their losing streak continues. Can Coach Reed's boys turn the tables when the Bengals hit town? Bengals at Eagles, Thursday at 0200 CET, live on ESPN America.
Somebody makes him mad, he's gonna put every ounce of man muscle on the back of your frame.
As a coach, you can't tolerate this behavior.
But I know what I did, and the man upstairs knows what I did.
A little immature as a football team. I heard that we were one-trick ponies. Well, if we are one-trick ponies, that's one hell of a trick.
The part of him that says, you know what, I could be like the villain.
Not a good idea to make him mad.
You're the only two teams out there playing.
Here we go, Cowboys!
Every time you play on a Monday night, it's going to be intensified. A lot of guys are real excited to get going.
Hell of a job, every one of you guys.
You know you're on primetime TV, you know you're the only game going, and it's a great environment.
Nothing like playing in it. I mean, that's what you live for.
One play at a time, do it for the guy next to you.
One word to describe Monday Night Football is electrifying. It's your time to shine.
A Cowboy running back scored a touchdown. Earl Bennett, touchdown Bears!
Monday Night Football is the night that everyone gets to see.
Monday Night Football is where legends are born.
What a day! Look at this!
Championship play right here, fellas.
It's football, baby. Let's make a play.
Takes the shotgun snap, throws it toward the end zone. It is caught.
Touchdown! Good night! Good night to all!
NFL Primetime is presented by Bud Light, the official beer of NFL fans. Here we go.
Welcome back to Primetime. I'm Lisa Salters in Foxborough with a team report. The Texans' defense leads the league with 36 pass blocks or deflections at the line of scrimmage, and J.J. Watt is setting the standard. He's got 15 of them to go along with his 16.5 sacks this season, making Watt the only player in NFL history with at least 15 sacks and 15 passes defensed in the same season. Tom Brady said about Watt, he's an incredible player. It's pretty unbelievable for him to have that kind of impact on the game, but he's doing it every week, so it's no fluke. To try to simulate the Texans' SWAT ability, the Patriots used
Oh,
why not?
He'd be if they about that. Why not? You say okay. Move on. What did you witness in Carolina yesterday? The resurgence of Cam Newton, the exposing of the Falcons, or a game that didn't matter much for either team? Woody Page, you want to answer that?
Resurgence of Cam. He has been flashing the Superman after first downs, but he actually had a reason to do it yesterday. His numbers are going to be as impressive as they were last year, and people talked about him having a sophomore slump. They still got to surround him with more talent.
Jones.
Woody, Cam's got a different silly little first down thing, but this game is about him. He hasn't thrown an interception in 4 weeks, and what no one has noticed this year is that 7 out of 13 games he's had to be that team's leading rusher. He's been way better than advertised this year.
Whoa, another person that watches the Falcons and think, uh-oh, here we go again. They can't run the ball. They can't stop the run. The Falcons, once again, getting into their December and January mode. It has to worry Falcon fans. This is about that.
Even though they already clinched the division and they've got a games lead.
It doesn't matter.
He already knew all that, though.
Flashkey 22, Jones 22, Page 21, Wisconsin Velvet, the next to go. What's the last word?
I feel like crushed velvet.
Bill Bomani, showdown it is. 2 men enter, but only 1 will leave. And straight ahead, the best of times from college basketball. Love this.
Taylor.
And the worst of times from college basketball. Are you serious?
Box out. Box out.
The man boxing out the shooter caught the ball.
December on ESPN America.